Hey, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sorry, I dropped the first time. So last time we talked about kind of the order of the popes and stuff like that led up to the split to the Orthodox Church, and you referenced this letter from Saint Gregory the Great on the three patron sees. And my question to you is: would the Anglican Church be valid by this same document according to your logic? Because, like, what's to prevent the Archbishop of Canterbury from saying, I'm the church?
Well, the Roman Catholic Church does not accept Anglicans as having valid orders. So, from their vantage point, no, they lost apostolic succession when they significantly changed the rites at the time of Henry VIII. So that's their perspective. From the Orthodox perspective, apostolic succession is not some mechanical thing that operates on its own. You also have to maintain the true doctrine. So from our vantage point, both Rome and later on, it doesn't matter who or what Canterbury claims, they lost the apostolic succession as well because they lost the faith.
Got it. And my second question to you is more metaphorical. So the Orthodox, I'm assuming, believe that the church is also the bride of Christ, right?
Sure.
So what happens when, like, your bride kind of loses it? You know, like women do sometimes. Do we just leave her, or do we try to, reform her?
Bro, it's just an analogy. It doesn't mean that the church is literally like a histrionic woman.
It's more like a metaphor. If we're gonna view this thing that we're all part of as the literal bride of Christ, what do we do?
So it's an analogy. So in every analogy, there's things that match up and things that don't match up. So the dissimilarity would be a lot of the characteristics that you actually see in the relationship between a husband and a wife. So no, the church never rebels against Christ. The church never goes off on its own because it was provided with the means to maintain the truth and to maintain that succession, namely the Holy Spirit, which Christ promises multiple times in the Gospel of John to lead and guide the church into all truth. He would not leave them as orphans. He would not lead them into error. And so this is talking about on a universal global scale. You can have areas of the church or even large sections of the church at some point in time that adopt a lot of error, but ultimately the truth triumphs and wins out. For example, the Arian crisis, you had at one point the majority of the church being semi-Arian, but eventually they lose and the church destroys that heresy, and then some other heresy pops up that has to fight. But there's a couple instances when the heresy becomes the majority. So, but that doesn't mean that the bride of Christ, in the sense of what Jesus is talking about, Matthew 18, that it's the totality of the visible institution can never fall away. There might be a lot of bishops that fall away, but in our view, if you adopt a heresy, you leave the church. So there's no such thing as like a heretical Orthodox church.
But wouldn't you just say that the church has been occupied by heresy for hundreds of years of time, like the Arian heresy? What makes the heresy of today's church that occupies the church today different?
They leave the church when they become heretics. So it's like it's like St. Maximus says, they have the numbers, but we have the faith. Athanasius in his day said, they have the buildings, but we have the faith. It's the same principle that it's ultimately not just apostolic succession, but for the Orthodox Church, it's apostolic succession plus the true faith. So you have to have both. So if you go off into some other faith, you're not the church anymore. Protestants, Roman Catholics, for us, they're not the church anymore.
So you're basically saying the church isn't false, that there's just a heresy occupying it.
It's not the church anymore if they adopt heresies. They're outside the church. What do you not understand about that? There's no such thing as a heretical Orthodox church. It doesn't exist.
But you're saying that the Orthodox Church is the same church that literally adopted the Arian heresy.
No, it didn't. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying.
Okay. Then
I'm saying that at any point in time, in 4th century, the majority of the bishops can fall into heresy and they leave the church. They are not the Orthodox Church. That's why, again, Athanasius says they have the buildings, but we have the faith.
Has there been any time in the first 1,000 years or whatever that you identify as this being a singular church, that maybe the papacy did indeed fall into heresy?
Yeah, the papacy fell into heresy at least a few times in the first 1,000 years, yes.
Yeah, so what's the difference between that and the papacy falling into heresy right now? I don't get it.
No.
I don't get the hang up where you think you're allowed to just schism and leave the church and declare your own authority. I don't see how it's any different.
What do you? So you again are assuming the Roman Catholic model of ecclesiology and saying that I'm not following up on or being consistent with the Roman Catholic model. The Roman Catholic model is the thing in question. I don't believe that that is the model of the church in the first 1,000 years. You just assume that the role of the Roman bishop as first among equals means that he has this supreme authority and jurisdiction, when your own papacy nowadays admits that that's not true, and it didn't have that office or that power in the first 1,000 years in the Alexandria and the Chieti documents. So you're applying to me a standard that is not my system, that I'm not bound to, and that I'm not arguing for. You're just presupposing the papal Vatican I position, which is not true. So in the first 1,000 years, for example, do you understand that there's a pentarchy that the Roman Church even accepts by this 5th, 6th, 7th century?
No.
So you don't even know what this is. What are you talking about? That I schismed and we created our own church? You don't even know what the pentarchy is.
I am under the impression that there has been a direct papal succession since St. Peter.
Do you not understand this? What did we talk about last time? Listen.
You even recognize all the popes for the first.
This is why you're so low tier. You don't understand. Succession of bishops does not equate to Vatican I claims. That's a non sequitur.
Yeah, I know, but Vatican I is thousands of years later. I'm talking about the first 1,000 years.
You're so low tier. You don't even understand what's at root here. What's being debated? It's not. It doesn't matter if it's 1,000 years later when Vatican I says that the Roman Catholic Church always held the Vatican I view from the beginning till now. You don't understand that.
But you yourself conceived that St. Peter was handed the authority, correct?
No, I said that it doesn't mean what you think it means.
Was the first pope. This is what you said last time.
You're assuming that because he's the Pope of Rome, that he's not also the Pope of Antioch and Alexandria, which he was, which I brought up the last time, which you didn't even know that.
But that's funny too, because you cite that document as if it has authority, and that was from another pope, St. Gregory.
You're so silly, dude. Are you like 50 IQ? That isn't. I don't believe they have the authority that you think they have. I don't have a problem citing them.
Okay, so you cite a Roman pope for being able for the Orthodox to have the authority to do what it does today, correct?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. That's so stupid. No.
Okay, well, that's what you brought up last time.
No, it's not. So, you just still don't understand anything. So the entire conversation that we had last time, and you went and read this letter, which is really short, you still don't understand it. So I can recognize that the Bishop of Rome in the first 1,000 years of Christianity that East and West share, that he had a first among equals position. That does not translate into Vatican I's claims of universal jurisdiction, indefectibility, and infallibility. What is so hard for you to understand about that?
Well, and then I could say, well, I understand it that the Vatican has once again been occupied by a heresy.
Then you contradict Vatican I. That's the point. That's why I keep referencing Vatican I.
For Vatican I, I'm.
Then you're not a Roman Catholic if you reject. You don't even know what Vatican. Listen, shut up. You're confusing Vatican I with Vatican II.
No, I'm not. We're not talking about Vatican I.
I'm talking about Vatican. Do you even know what's in Vatican I?
Yeah, we're not debating Vatican I right now.
I'm debating. You don't understand that that's your
legitimacy to schism from the church in the first place.
You don't even know what Vatican I teaches. Shut up. Do you know what Vatican I teaches?
You taught that the order magisterium and it
what is Vatican I about? What is Vatican I about?
It's that your hang up is there's an infallibility to the clergy.
No, to the Pope. What is Vatican I about?
Okay, well,
what is the council about?
And I cited ex cathedra, and he said no.
What is Vatican I about? You can't tell me what it's about.
There's a lot of stuff that happened.
Are you not hearing what I'm saying? Is there some sort of
So I've just cited two things in Vatican I that you have had.
You can't even tell me what Vatican I is about. You're so stupid. You just said you don't accept Vatican I.
Yeah, no, because I'm saying.
Then you're not a Roman Catholic. It's a dogmatic council. What's it about?
Okay.
What is Vatican I about?
I am saying.
Tell me what it's about, or you're booted. We're never going to talk again. Shut up. Shut up. All right.
So how is that
you can't tell me what Vatican I is about. Are you this stupid? Are you a troll? Are you fed? How dumb are you?
No. I just cited two things in Vatican I.
What?
You want me to read 100 fucking pages of Vatican I?
It's not 100 pages, dummy. It's 15 pages. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're confusing Vatican II and Vatican I. This is how dumb you are.
No, ex-cathedra is Vatican I, bro.
Ex-cathedra is Vatican I. What is the theological topic that Vatican I is about?
The infallibility.
Of what?
of the church.
Of the Pope. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. That's why I cited ex cathedra specifically, because it allows the Pope to speak from the chair.
It's not 100 pages. It's a 10 to 15 page document. So what are you even talking about?
All right. So
you don't know what Vatican I
we
is.
both ascertained that I know what Vatican I is about. And it's about infallibility, correct?
No, it's about infallibility of what?
Of the papacy, bro.
Yeah, but it took you until I told you that to figure that out.
No, bro. I clearly knew.
No, bro.
I cited
All right,
a
this is
specific
so
example
stupid.
of
This is
an-
the dumbest person I've ever had an argument with.